I'm not a group person. I do things on my own for a reason. This is like very hard for me.
This is so hard for you.
This is so hard for me. Hi friends, and welcome back to the podcast and or the channel. Depending on where you're listening, there will be a link down below for the podcast if you are watching the video. And if you're listening to the podcast, there will be a link to the video. So this week we have a special guest by popular demand. This is my husband. His name is Andrew. He also goes by Curio Twitch on most platforms. I will link all of his information down below. Today we're going to be talking to you about protection magic, and the reason for that is because in a lot of my pick a card readings that you all seem to really love, I do protection magic a lot in them and candle magic, and a lot of that is protection magic. I know I don't call it that in the readings, but that's what I'm doing is candle magic. And a lot of you have asked how you can ask for protection, what you can do to protect yourselves, and especially when some of the readings get pretty serious or intense. And so I felt like if I was going to talk about protection, I would bring in an expert. So yes, my husband actually,
so-called expert.
He is the protection magic expert in this house. He's the one who does all of the protection magic to protect our home, and I feel like he knows a thing or two. So
thank you. Well, thank you for even asking me to show up and be like, you do always ask me though to protect the house.
Oh my
to
gosh.
Help you call corners, to do what you do.
Boy, I just did the chakra test and my third eye is overactive. So my shit is like...
You're seeing a lot more than you should.
I'm seeing a lot more than I should, okay?
Yeah, I think... I really like protecting this house, and I'm gonna be constantly trying to say hiding this house, which is how it always fits in my head. It's very strange, but I feel like it's not even a hey, like no one will try to do you harm. It's like no one's gonna find you. Which is something that I appreciate deeply to my core. I
mean, what I think is so funny about that is also in astrology, because I will insert astrology wherever I can. In tropical astrology, Andrew is a Scorpio moon, and in sidereal astrology, he's a double Scorpio. And Scorpio, it rules over the house, the hidden house, things that are hidden. So you're just a mystical occultist magic bitch.
I guess so. That's fine.
We love to see it.
It's fine. I think I like our interplay, how we do things. What did you think of, like, how did you feel when I was protecting the house the other day?
Oh my gosh, it felt so good. I feel like quarterly, at least, I usually will ask you to, like, redo the protection around the house, and I usually feel it. Like, I usually feel that something feels off. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I feel like when you are somebody that brings a lot of light into the world, like more darkness tries to come at you. So I usually feel like something is off. And I feel like when you're doing that, I feel like the peace being restored. I don't even know how to explain that. Like it does. It feels like the peace is being restored, and it's like an instant like, oh, I didn't even realize I was holding a breath, but I feel like I can just exhale now.
Which was actually very funny. I think part of the foundation of this, and we need to get us a broom first of all.
Oh,
we need to get us.
I mean, we have a broom.
I mean, we have brooms, but like I feel like we should have a broom for this house. So okay, so I guess this is what I wanted to say first, which is like, whatever magic you're doing, whatever intentions you're setting, even if you're just setting your intention, like your body moving through a space is going to like, you know what? I can't help but remember the person who I used to be. This is a tangent.
Ooh, no, please, tangent away. That's what podcasts are for.
I can't help but remember being the person who I used to be and was like really, really very skeptical, but also very superstitious.
Now you're just somebody that I used to be.
So, I mean, I think I'd be really hard pressed to find someone who isn't a little superstitious, even if they don't choose to admit it.
I think those people exist, though.
Oh, I'm sure they exist.
Ooh,
But,
it just
like-
reminds me of The Haunting of Hill House, where like
But
the,
is that- but,
the
like-
main character is like, no, I don't believe it, and then like
Oh yeah.
the one who like writes all the books, they're like, how do you write this stuff? But you're
And
like
it's like-
such a skeptic.
But he did know. And like,
Oh, he
that
did.
was the
He
thing.
did know. That's what I'm
know.
saying.
Exactly.
Like that character, he
But-
did know.
Well then you're just like lying to yourself about it. Which I think I was. I think I was though. I think I was lying to myself about like how I felt about like Magick. But I don't know. I feel like us, like you're moving, you're being happy and sad and living your life in your house just normally builds up to this just like let's call it debris.
Ooh. I apologize if my parents are watching this. They're probably not.
Probably not.
But your house has got some stank in it.
That is a stanky house. And like
I can't even stay there at this point because I'm so aware. Like, my parents don't necessarily hold themselves to this. Like, they're different. They just have different spiritual beliefs that don't line up to where we are. But
yeah.
I don't mean that like we're better. Like, it's not like where we are. But like, I feel like when I go into spaces, you can tell people that cleanse their spaces regularly and protect them and the people that don't.
And it's if you are not comfortable in any seat or room in a house, that is a big indicator.
Oh
if you are more comfortable outside, because you don't have to. Outside doesn't like the second you step outside of like a home, you really don't need to maintain it. Like it's outside. Like energy can come and go as it please. Like I believe, and I'm pretty sure like a lot of what I've read kind of follows up that and it's like, oh, it's outside. Like, but yeah, if you're more comfortable outside than in your home,
That
should get to cleansing.
Yeah, cleansing and protecting.
Mm-hmm. And so there's like, it was funny. Just before this, because I was like, is that right? I read, I was reading like sections from Scott Cunningham's Wicca.
Which book was that? Earth Power? Oh, Wicca.
Just
We
Wicca,
do.
no.
Okay, Wicca. We do have that one.
We
I
do
forgot.
also have Earth Power and the Encyclopedia. Actually, I have more about magical
Oh my
herbs later.
goodness, I'm excited. I feel like this is going to be a long podcast.
It's
It
us.
might have to break it into two.
I just knew
That's
we-
okay. It's fine.
I knew we had to get into talking, and then we would just keep talking.
This is us every day. It was funny. I was like, before we got into this podcast, I was like, Andrew, my podcast is serious. And he was like, Kloee, if you really think we're going to sit down and not be laughing our asses off the entire time, you're a fool. Like, he's
we
right,
joke
though.
way too much in our normal day-to-day.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I was reading about maintaining and protecting like your space and your home. And the first part is like, yeah, mop and sweep your floor with a real broom. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, that's funny. Actually, like, yeah, clean up your space. And I was like,
I mean, cleaning
know.
your space makes sense to me. I do that shit
That
like
makes a lot of
religiously.
sense.
I
That
tell
makes-
you all the time that a clean
Mhm.
space, like a messy space, drives me nuts.
and you could say the same thing about like a messy space energetically.
Oh,
Like,
100.
yeah, is you just, I don't know, you feel antsy or uncomfortable.
100.
And so I think that's funny, like, yeah, there's an energetic aspect to making sure like a place is calm and safe and then protected. But it just struck me as very funny. Just like,
I've
take a broom.
also-
Take your floor broom and broom up.
I've also heard of, I've never done this, but it's something that in our next home that we are manifesting, our next home, I really do want to do this. You actually mix brick dust into your like cleaning solution for your floors.
Really?
And you wash your floors with like a brick dust solution and then wash them again if there's like brick shit on your floors. Like you're not
Right.
trying to leave it there. It's to cleanse away what was there.
Interesting.
And a lot of Bahati Life, actually, specifically, somebody I love on YouTube. She's fantastic. Bahati Life does this anytime she moves. She'll, like, in a new space, she will cleanse it this way. And I was like, that's so genius. Like, just mopping the floors.
That's interesting. I don't know if I mean, I do like that. I think.
I mean, we
What
use
am I
brick
trying to
dust
say?
sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's usually for. I usually, the way that I use it is like outside.
Well, yeah.
Outside of all of our barriers. And then also...
Don't be giving away our secrets, Andrew.
Well, you can't find this house.
I mean, you really can't. But...
I mean that too. I don't think... But... yeah, I think that, I mean, this goes without saying too, but I think honestly, if you find yourself in like a habit and like making small rituals like part of your life, I think really you can do anything with just about anything. Like that cleansing ritual can be something that only you're comfortable with doing, and like nobody advised you to do.
Oh, yeah.
I lost my place in my brain. I lost my brain place.
Maybe it's something you're not supposed to share.
I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't like the spooky. I don't like spooky.
And I want to make that very clear. I didn't get to say this earlier, that I would never not share something with you because I'm trying to be like greedy or hoard it for myself. It's not about that. It's that certain things, especially when it comes to protection magic, if you share every single thing that you're doing, like let's say somebody wants to try to get around those barriers, they're going to have an easier time. Like if there was another spiritual practitioner that wanted to target me, which I don't know why that would happen, but if there was another spiritual practitioner that wanted to target me, it would be easier for them to get around my protective barriers if they knew exactly what they were looking for. So,
which is really interesting because I think we've just collected a bunch of these, like...
Well, we're eclectic witches.
Well, yeah. But I mean, specifically we've collected like these spell a day, these fucking Witcher's Beginner Guide.
Oh my gosh, I donate so many witch books now.
Yeah. A lot of these go elsewhere.
Yeah, I donate a lot.
But keeping that in mind, it's like, maybe don't do the protection magic spell that you read, even if it's in somebody else's grimoire that they printed in their book. Like Scott Cunningham prints his personal grimoire in like the back third of the book. So just so you can see the notes that he'd taken and the steps that he takes to complete a ritual or to make his own. And so and on that note, like, hey, do what feels a lot more comfortable, and it's going to mean a lot more if it comes from you.
Oh,
and
totally.
Less so if you just follow somebody else's instructions too.
Totally. And I feel like...
I think everyone starts out there, though.
Especially if you have, like, a basic knowledge of certain protective herbs or... I feel like protection magic, it is something that you may want to know early on, especially, like, casting a circle, that sort of thing. There are, like, certain basic components that you may want to have in your repertoire, but as Andrew is saying, I do feel like from that you can kind of like make your own, and that is more favorable. But like it's okay to have basic knowledge of some things to do certain things, but like expand on that.
I think when it comes to improvising anything, you're not just even if you decide to do something on a whim, it's not that you're just pulling it or you're just borrowing. You might be borrowing things from a lot of different places, but you and your subconscious are the ones that picked those things. Like everything that you pick on a whim probably has a lot more meaning to you, and a lot more meaning to you energetically.
Well, I feel like even you could say magic in general is very personal based. Like the more that you just go with what you're feeling intentionally, the more likely like you'll have success with that. Like I do feel like there are a lot of people out there that are just learning magic and just learning about witchcraft, my little baby witches. There are a lot of people that are like, they want the specific step-by-step. I even have friends that want the specific step-by-step, and I think that's great to take those notes from people, to take, you know, that inspiration, but again, make it your own from that. Like it's going to be so much more effective if you're doing it from your own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From your own improvising and from your own the subconscious steps that you take.
Yes. I also feel like if I could give any of you some basic tips from me, things that you can build off of, this is, I guess, my main highlight to this podcast that I wanted to put out there. And you may have some things you want to add, but my main thing is a lot of people come to me in my comment section and they're just like, I don't feel safe. I don't know what to do. Can you tell me how to protect myself? First and foremost, I'm never going to be able to give you a complete guide on how to protect yourself. And I think that comes down to you kind of have to suss it out for yourself. And I also don't know what kind of protection you need because I can't feel your energy. I mean, I can, I guess, to an extent, but I'm not there living your experiences. And even in terms of like being a healer, which I do believe that I am, I don't necessarily believe that I do any healing. Healers heal themselves. Like, you're doing that work yourself. You might have me guiding you to do something, but you have to like have the neutral energy to help yourself and guide yourself. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
I think so.
But if I could give you some things to start with, number one, invest in some black candles for the love of God. Des. Please invest in some black candles. I feel like that is like one of the most basic things you can do is black candles and black crystals. Like,
it's really easy to get into a habit of that too.
Yeah, like black chime candles, you can get them. They're super inexpensive. I'll link some down below if you just want black ones. Black tourmaline. I'm wearing black tourmaline. I try not to take this off unless I'm showering. Black obsidian is another really good one. Black typically is known for being protective. So those are just going to be really good things to have in your repertoire. And when you light a black candle, a black chime candle, let's say, you just want to set the intention with that candle. You might take a moment, ask your ancestors or your guides, or just set the intention that when lighting this, you are, asking for protection. And same with any kind of crystal necklace, you may want to charge it with the moon or something with that intention.
Which actually, all of that we were just talking about is a good lead-in, because even with black crystals and black candles, you can look at it a number of ways. But you can look at it as you are becoming one with. Black is more like the darkness of our universe.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Black is more the darkness of our universe, and in a couple of the places, in a couple of the references that I was looking at, make that comparison and say, in at least one place I was reading, was saying how this is a lot more connected to your power, because the power that you draw, no matter where you think your power comes from, it's coming from the universe, and you commune that. It's a lot easier to set intentions with this black candle. And black candles are always used to aid protection or to banish things.
I mean, also it connects to the shadow self, I would say. Like you're saying, like the darker aspect of the universe, the darker aspect of the self as well, which we all have.
I was trying to think of the opposite of that, like white candles and white crystals for manifesting. And black candles kind of getting back to this like zero baseline of maybe what's possible.
I mean, I do feel like black candles can also cancel things. Like if there's like a hex being fucking thrown your way, like a black candle can really do some work to cancel that. Gray candles too, interestingly enough, a little bit harder to come by, but apparently gray is like really good for that. I feel like white technically can also be used in protection magic though, at least white candles for sure. Because white is technically like the universal, like it's a stand-in for all colors. Black is just better in my opinion.
And that's what we've come to be very comfortable with.
But like maybe you're more comfortable with all white candles, or maybe you're somebody who can't openly practice witchcraft in front of your family or wherever you are, and like white tea lights is all you can get your hands on, and like that's gonna be fine.
And we've done a lot of magic with black tea lights too.
Oh yeah, you could
really,
oh my gosh, okay. The lowdown around Halloween time in October, they sell, at least at Walmart for sure, they sell black tea lights, and they're at like a tea light. I don't know if y'all don't know what that is. Like it's just like a little short, stumpy candle.
Yeah, and like usually like it's like a tin.
Yeah, like a little tin, and they're cheap as dirt. And you can get them during the Halloween time for like maybe a couple bucks for like 10 of them.
Yeah,
they're super cheap, and especially if you wait until Halloween's over, you can just go get them all like 50% off. And you'll have this back stock of black candles. And you could even, again, if you're practicing magic under a roof that doesn't support it, it's like, oh, these are my Halloween tea lights. And oh, I just have them left over. Don't worry about it.
I just like candles.
Yeah, I just like candles. It's like very easy to use that. Camera death. Sorry about that. Or not death, but it does this thing. Anyways.
It caps its file size.
Yeah.
You can probably uncap that. Anyway. Getting, more to the point. You will be able to, I remember what I was going to say too. You will know what you're feeling, and maybe it'll just take practice to feel what might be bothering you. What I was going to say what might be pursuing you, but that seemed a little ominous. But what might be bothering you? Like Kloee can help with. Well, these are the issues that people are identifying with, and these are the things, like, you have to believe in your own power. Like, you want to help people, but help people like really take a step back and really feel what they're experiencing. And so if you do, if I'm sure this is something that a lot of people feel like they are being put upon, or that there is a lot of negative energy that's being directed at them, there are a lot more steps that you can take, which is great.
Oh, and 100.
I guess just to start with a truncated version of what I like to do. So first, like I said, when I first started, try to clean the space energetically at least, and smudge. And we have more about smudging in a little bit. But going through and really trying to, whatever you're going to do, you want to have these kind of multiple layers of things you're doing. This is something that I've always been super comfortable with, and I didn't quite realize it was a thing until I started doing more reading about it, which I like when that happens. It's trying to surround yourself with these three, some people call it barriers, or to me it's more like three different kinds of protection, three different methods of protection.
Power of three. Charmed said it first.
I will probably and I will stack a thing that I've done 3 times, but in 3 different ways.
That's cool. And I don't think I knew that. I never really ask you what you do. Like, I kind of know because I've witnessed, but I never, like, that's your private practice. Like, even though it's benefiting me, like, I don't know. I know you would tell me if I wanted to know, but.
And so just to provide a very general example, I will have incense.
Oh my gosh, Andrew, you are the knight. Every time the camera like shifts focus to you and not me, the like image drops in like brightness.
Oh, it like corrects the white balance between us? Yeah, probably.
You are the knight.
I'm just here to make your podcast shadier. What can I say?
Shit.
I'm glad you but yes, just a brief example. Once I've set my intention, and it's really just putting that energy out, I may have something or some things, often 3 of them, okay. So I can't.
Oh my God!
Something
spit
about
it
this.
out. We have this conundrum in our house constantly. Andrew will try to tell a story for like 45 minutes, and I'm just like, you just need to say what you're going to say and stop throwing in all these fluff words.
I need to say it correctly, or you might as well just not say it at all.
Capricorn Mercury, why?
Anyway, I will circuit our house.
Look at me that back. You're washing me out.
I will circuit our house 3 times. And not just our house, it may be inside and then outside and then even further than that. Like, I mean, obviously we can't get too far. But if you really wanted to, if you really felt that you had intention and it's believing you have the power to, you could protect everything that is near and dear to you. Even if it's just you can make imagine those kinds of barriers around your family, around your home, around your friends. And whether or not I think it's really easy to take physical steps, like physical ritual steps kind of cements it in my head a lot harder than simply sitting at peace and focusing very intently. Although it should be said that you could do that too. One could just sit in quiet silence, just quietly thinking about one thing in particular and holding that as hard as you can, and imagining forming these kinds of like triple barriers around your home or your friends or your family, like I said. And
I mean, even keys, like house keys can be extremely protective. Like,
oh yeah,
you can use keys, like even envisioning like every time you lock your door from the outside, like that's a protective layer. I don't know that we've ever done that, but
no, I don't
that's
think
something
so.
that you can do. You can also do that on your person. Like if there's like a loose key that you have, you can literally like lock yourself, if that makes sense.
I've heard of protective amulets using like something that you'd wear like a charm. It might be very silly, or it might just be a key that you wear in your pocket. But well, yes, and it could be a black stone that, or it could be like a locket that has something in it, or it could just be a key, or it could just be black tourmaline or something that you hold on you. I was doing that for a long time before I had anything that I really liked. I would carry around like a coin or something that helped with my intention.
You did have the coin. I remember that.
It was nice.
Didn't you accidentally give that coin away? Like, wasn't it like in a money cup or something, and you like gave it to?
I must have.
Somebody,
I think so.
like a homeless person.
I actually don't remember. It might have just been at a restaurant.
Is that what we call them? Do we have a better word for that?
I don't think. I think that one is the most accurate and is the least patronizing.
Okay. Cool.
They're not. Yeah.
I just want to make sure I wasn't being offensive. I'd like correct me, shit.
Well, no, that's true, and that's fine. We probably will not solve this problem right now. We're learning. Everyone's learning.
We're learning.
What was I going to say? Oh, yes.
Well, I hope they're protected.
Which, yeah, that's tough to do if you're alone by yourself. If you have something, again, this is how I practice. If I have something physical that I can turn to, even like a candle or like a stone or the smudging that we do, like that's something that I think really seals the deal for us.
Totally.
And so that's my examples are, we set up these 3 different layers. As far as different herbs that can be used, a lot of the herbs that are said to be protective have a lot to do with the sun and with fire. There are a lot of herbs that are said to like fit in that category. And since I'm trying to step away from using sage all the time, and I'm very lucky that we had a rosemary smudge stick.
Yes.
And so I will use that more often.
We also grow our own sage, though. Sometimes
that's
like
true.
We have our own.
We should get a new plant. I would actually.
1000%. We could be doing that now.
I need a rosemary bush so we can make.
We have a rosemary bush. It's still out there living.
It's having a hard time.
She needs help.
She needs help right now.
We haven't been taking care of her. It's not because we've tried and failed. We're just not trying.
Yeah, we've taken insight to heart, and we've kind of. That's why, because we're not going out to get gardening supplies.
Yeah, that would be that.
I forgot. Chloe, I forgot.
He forgot.
So,
So what are some herbs that you could recommend?
Okay, some easier to get ones. I'm not
like, are there any that are in like literally in people's spice cabinets that like could be used right now?
That's
like,
a very good point.
I really wanted with this podcast to hit on a lot of like basic level notes for people that
makes sense.
are just asking how to protect themselves. I mean, your home is an extension of you and it's important, but I also want people that are walking away from this to feel like they can start to kind of carve their path to protect themselves. So are there any herbs that can be found just in the kitchen that they might have?
We just talked about it, but rosemary, you don't need enough to make a smudging stick. Also, I recommend you make your own smudging sticks.
Yes, very cool.
Basically, you may not be able to burn it yourself, but if you can burn rosemary as an incense, or if you have like a fireproof dish, like a censer, we have our little cauldron that we use to burn herbs for meditation, for a number of purposes. But if you have rosemary, frankincense, which is really easy to acquire.
Frankincense, you can also get in incense sticks, and your ancestors fucking love that shit. Like, burn it for them because you love them.
Oh, same. They don't. Such a shame they don't have like rosemary incense.
I bet you they do. I bet we can find that. I'm gonna find you a link for it.
But what they do have, you're hit on a very good point, is sandalwood. Sandalwood in its like wood form, or as
I don't think anybody's gonna find that in their spice cabinet. But
no, but like frankincense, you're gonna find. Sorry, I keep hitting you. Like frankincense, you are gonna find a lot of incense that's sandalwood scented or has sandalwood essence in it.
That's very true.
Anything
besides rosemary that you could just find, though? Like, does cinnamon work on protection? I know that that's like an action-oriented, but it's very like fiery, so...
It is very fiery.
I bet you it could.
In a pinch,
I bet you in a pinch that could
absolutely
work.
You know what? If you can abscond... Actually, you know what? I've done this myself for other intentions, but if you light a stick, just a literal cinnamon stick, as a smudging tool, or as like just enough so that it embers and smokes, it has worked for me, and I've really enjoyed using it.
Well, I also feel like you can use that to lift your own mood so that you can be in a place where your protection magic will be more like
that's a good point,
aligned. Like cinnamon would be a good like prerequisite for burning, in my opinion, too.
I guess so. You can also look at it, the whole process of protecting your place or yourself, as like having these multiple steps. Like you want to get yourself into a good mindset. You want your space to be clean, energetically and sometimes physically. If you're me, if you're Andrew.
If you're Andrew, just energetically. If you're Kloee, physically. That's the difference.
And then with all that, making your intention very loud and clear, using like you said, the tools that you might already have on hand if your family likes candles. My family liked candles.
Same. My family liked that good shit too. They had like party light candles and stuff growing up.
I got to collect a lot of rocks.
Me too. I feel like a lot of kids are
rocks.
Like, I don't know any child that wasn't like, hell yeah, those like treasure chests and gift shops at museums, like fill a bag for $7. I was about that. Kids like, no.
I would do that.
Me too.
I would. Well, I mean, yes, I would.
Well, if my parents would let me. They weren't always, they'd be like, it's just rocks, Kloee. I'm like, the worst.
Wow. I really was an only child.
I really was an only child. Huge family.
Man. I don't think I knew that. I didn't know what kind of power I had, though.
Neither. I don't think I... Well, I think for you, you probably didn't.
I'll say I realize it now because I had a lot of bags of rocks as a kid.
I see.
I mean, I would do that now, except every time I look in one of those bins, like, not only am I thinking about being germy, but, like, they all look a little low quality for me. They're all, like, weird, polished, like, what is this? I keep finding hematite. Hematite's really good, by the way.
Hematite's great.
Hematite's good for protection. Actually, my first... I'm not wearing my pie stone, the little round stone.
Oh, you're wearing the Thor hammer.
Mm-hmm. Very actionable today.
Very actionable. I love that.
It was a tough day.
I also feel like some crystals just don't... Just because on that thread of hematite, some crystals just will not resonate with you. Like, I have a friend that got a hematite ring and it would like hurt her physically, and like something about, like, she is extremely powerful, this amazing person, who I will not name because that's their business, but they like, it would like hurt like her finger, and she was like, I just think it doesn't, like, it's not for me.
We're not jiving here.
Like, we're not jiving. And so I think also some crystals are just like not specifically for you, and they will tell you when they're not for you. Every time I pick up your crystal ball, I'm like, ooh, that's not for me.
Oh, the one that's shrouded and like wrapped.
Heather has a black obsidian crystal ball, and I'm always like, that's not mine.
If you get a really nice piece of obsidian, it can be used for scrying or in protection, which is what I like to use it for. It's really good.
Yes.
But yeah.
I hope this helped. I feel like it was kind of all over the place, but I kind of expected it to be, because that's how we are.
We talk about this.
But I hope this helps some of you that have been curious about protection magic. I hope we at least covered some of the basics and gave you some ideas on where you could start, because that to me is all you really need to get the ball rolling. And, you know, be well, be safe. You got this. And please remember that when you stand up in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. Is there any last words you would like to say?
It was lovely. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep yourself protected in any way that you can.
Like, take your energy seriously. Nurture that ish.
Yeah, you're worth taking the extra steps, even if you think like what you're saying or how you're feeling is silly. Everything matters. Everything matters that you do, and we're finding that more and more.
Yes. All right. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you again soon. And if you have any other questions, or you want me to bring my husband back on for something, please let us know in the comment section so we can address those things. October is going to be a really fun month for podcasts, which is what we'll be leading into like pretty close after this. So it's going to be different than what y'all are used to, but we'll catch you again. All right. Love you.
Bye all.
Bye.